Hello all, and welcome to the next video here in the Onion Man's Rooftop 2 at a Cow Caravan of Treasure. Sometimes Bard of the Street continues, as it always will. And we are back with our journey into monthlies. Yeah, I actually got my comic book order in this time. If you ever watch my channel purely for the comic books, sorry. It's the thing that, I know I'm getting them and I know exactly what they are. There's not really a whole lot of a surprise factor. Sometimes there is, because I'll forget, oh, I forgot I'm going to start getting this month. Start picking up this character, But this actually was kind of a hard month to order, because it was kind of like I think this is my first official month since 2011 when Mark Waid rebooted him. This is the first month I have not gotten a Daredevil comic. Unless there was like a layoff, like a in-between period, like there was a couple of times. It'd be like a couple of months till the next volume started up, So it feels weird. It feels kind of weird. It's crazy. And I'm going to go on a little rant here before I open these. Saladin Ahmed's writing is, really good. I just don't, because I've read some other stuff of his that he's done previously, and I enjoy his writing. I just don't know if that him and Daredevil meshed well. It's kind of like how I really love Chip Darsky's Darsky. I always mess up his name. I love his Daredevil run, but his Batman run was just not good. It was like a slog, and I think it was just trying to take too long to tell this story that shouldn't have been as long as it was, because it wasn't that entertaining anyway. And I don't know, I love his Daredevil run. I like his little Spider-Man mini run he had for a while there, but just wasn't a good Batman writer. I think that's Ahmed's thing. I've read some stuff of his before and really enjoyed it. I just don't think Daredevil was the right fit for him. That being said, it's not this month. I don't think it's in this box. I think it's going to be in the next one or the one after that. I'm going to give his Wolverine a try, because I think he is a much better fit for Wolverine based on the story description, or the preview descriptions and stuff. I think it's going to way better fit him, because he does great action sequences. He scripts out great action, and I think that's going to be great for Wolverine. I don't know. I guess I'm so used to Daredevil having what I feel is these more kind of impactful stories. Matt's not dealing with crazy big shit all the time, He's just guarding Hell's Kitchen. But I felt like it was just kind of getting out of that realm. Anyway, I'm sorry, I soapbox there. There was, I guess the best way to put it is yes, Matt Murdock has a lot of the Catholic imagery and stuff. That's what makes him him. Other than the blindness, his disability. Other than that, it's that inner demon with himself, right? This kind of metaphorical demon, if you will, that he fights, and he loses his faith a lot. I like it when it's done like that. Frank Miller played around a lot with that. Mark Waid touched on it a little bit with his Happy Daredevil, not too much. Kevin Smith did a pretty solid job of that, to be honest. But it feels like in the current run we had of Daredevil, it was too much into the more paranormal aspect. Matt Murdock doesn't need to be fighting some literal demon manifestation. You know what I mean? I don't get it. It's kind of like when you take Batman. Darsky and Ron V kind of did the same thing. They took it was good and bad at the same time, because it was Batman and this more paranormal detective story, but it was also out of his element bad. I don't know. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I prefer just to have a character kind of be what they are, and sorry, taking a drink there. And yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to give Ahmed's Wolverine a chance, for sure. I actually think that's going to be entertaining. So, by no means was I going to give up on him as a writer. I think some people read into it that way. Because somebody's like, oh, I thought you liked Ahmed. I was like, I do. It just his Daredevil run wasn't great, you know. So I just wanted to clarify that from my last one. What is in here? Oh, okay. So we got our Midtown brown bag as always. That did not tear as it usually does. Yep. I remember now why, like, it was such a hard choice, because I'm jumping into a story that I gave up on, but I'm coming back. Hey, you never know. It happens. I did that with Kennedy Johnson's Captain America. I gave up on it about 4 issues in, because I couldn't understand where it was going, and I was like, I don't see a very good end game here. And then they did great stuff with like that new MODOK and the new, like, it was like that intertwined story of Sam and Steve. So I like that. And I ended up getting it in trades. So first thing right out the gate, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get the trades. I'm gonna get the second one too. I got the first Blade trade. If I remember correctly, I think I got the first 3 issues. And then I was like, I don't know where this is going. But now that I've seen some of the what looks to be pretty entertaining stuff from Blood Hunt, I want to read it. I want to know why. How did we get to Blood Hunt? I'm going to start here because I'm not going to pick up Blood Hunt issues. Don't expect to see. I think there's a couple of the tie-ins, but that's just because those are the normal books I get. So don't expect to see any of the Blood Hunt issues in here. I don't think. I'm pretty sure I did not buy those. I'm going to get it in a trade. I'm going to read this. I'm pretty sure Volume 2 is going to be the other 5 issues. It ended up being like 10 issues. And I thought it got canceled and was going to only get stuck at like 6 or 7. But 10 issues, so Volume 1 is issue 1 through 5. I've already read those first 3, like I said, but I can read 4 and 5. The next one comes out in a month or 2. So great. I can go ahead and get that and then, continue on, get Blood Hunt, So, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance. I have not been the biggest fan of this. It's a great Ghost Rider story. I don't know if it's a great Johnny Blaze story. I hope that makes some kind of sense. This also is one of like the weaker Ghost Rider covers in a while. It looks cool, but like I'm just getting weird like Jonah Hex vibes. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Benjamin Percy's Ghost Rider coming. I don't know if he's ending his run or not. Is he? Is Ghost Rider getting a new writer or a reboot after this? Either way, not the biggest fan. He has his regular Ghost Rider run is amazing. This not so much. I don't know. I'm not into it. This is one Blood Hunt tie-in I got. Werewolf by Night. I love Werewolf by Night. Anytime I see anything he's in, I'm going to grab it. So yeah. It's a one-shot. It's just a Blood Hunt tie-in one-shot. I don't know where it fits into the story, so I probably actually will skip reading this until I've read Blood Hunt or right before or something, like while I'm reading it. I don't know. Yeah. So, I'm going to wait to read it, but went ahead and picked it up just in case. Wolverine Deep Cut. I've heard great things about this, so I'm excited. I've kind of liked when they've brought back these old X-Men writers to do stories from that period. X-Men Legends did that, and they brought Peter David back to do like an X-Factor story. It was awesome. Simonson as well came back and did an Apocalypse story. And Claremont's come back a couple of different times recently, but this so far, from what I've heard, has been his best of his X-Men character comebacks. Wolverine Deep Cut. So this is basically when there's this point in time in the comic books where, if you remember, Logan does leave the X-Men and he comes back, but it's like we never know what happened with him. He's like, he's like, he's got something to do in Australia, and that's basically what this story is supposed to be. It's covering that like empty area, and I love that. I like going back and having the old writers do what they do. I've heard this is actually really entertaining and pretty fun. It's Wolverine and Sabretooth. Cool. Down for that. We got Deadpool and Wolverine. World War III. I believe this is issue 3, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Okay, yeah. I haven't read issue 2, but I need to. It's one of the only books from the last month that I didn't read. I didn't read that and something else. Can't remember. Anyway, yeah, so definitely going to read this, though. I did enjoy the first issue. I'll say that, because I remember that one. I enjoyed it. It works for what it needs to be. Joe Kelly is sorely missed in the Deadpool vernacular, if you will, or, way. He gets the character really well. I don't think anybody really has touched on the things that go through Deadpool's mind the way he has. Like, I know, I kind of learned this from a recent Comic Tropes video. Probably my favorite comic book YouTube channel, Comic Tropes. Check him out. He talks about, like, the writers of Deadpool and their influence. And I can see what he means now with Joe Kelly. I never really read a lot of Joe Kelly's Deadpool. I read a few, and I always enjoyed it. But now I can kind of see it after the way he's described it. And, yeah, like, I get it. Like, I get why Joe Kelly's Deadpool is like that cut above the rest, Pun intended. Doctor Strange, number 17. This is a Blood Hunt tie-in. I get Doctor Strange on the regular, so I didn't get this just because it was Blood Hunt. I get all the Doctor Strange monthly issues, the main series. So, yeah. And he plays a big part in Blood Hunt, and I've noticed that, which is making me want to read Blood Hunt, because I read the previous 2 issues that were, or is it 1 issue? Whichever one. I think they're both Blood Hunt tie-ins, and I'm like, whoa, okay, where are we here? So I need to read Blood Hunt just to understand Doctor Strange a little bit, and yeah, so Immortal Thor, cool, I like this. I really like the Thor Hercules arm wrestling contest here. It's a very, like, pro wrestler-esque 80s thing going on here, over the top. What does that say? Warning, weapon extraction continues inside. Oh, yeah, the backup story. Yeah, cool. I like it. I think this is a great Alex Ross cover. Pretty nice. Good book, too. Al Ewing, don't expect to see the amount of just craziness you did with his Hulk. He's definitely taking Thor into a, like, man, what's a good way to put it? Like, this more cosmic-y kind of vibe. And I dig it. It's kind of like what Donny Cates should have done after the Black Winter thing, or whatever it was. The Dark Winter, yeah. Good book. Recommend it. Namor. Number 1. I didn't know Jason Aaron was doing a Namor book. Jason Aaron, a writer I really enjoy. Most of what I've read of his, I've always liked. I will admit, I'm a little biased. I love his Thor run. I think he writes Thor very well. I thought he wrote Superman well. He did a little 3-issue Bizarro story in Action Comics. It was really good, really enjoyable. I highly recommend it. One of the better things DC's put out in a while. But I will say his Batman was weird. I wasn't a fan of his, like, off-planet Batman thing. Like I said, I don't like Batman in those types of situations. But he's doing a Namor story. I don't know what's going on with Namor here, but I am always down for Namor. He's one of my more, like, subtle favorite characters, and Jason Aaron's doing it. And like I said, even though his Batman's a little bit too off there for me, his, like, I'm still gonna give him a shot. Like, every writer just has characters they're good with and characters they're not. It just happens, Hellblazer, Dead in America, number 7. Man, this cover's weird. He's just laying off the bed all half naked. Yeah, so Cy Spurrier's Hellblazer, Dead in America, pretty good book. I really enjoyed it. The closest thing to a Vertigo Hellblazer story we've had since that ended and the New 52 started. So, yeah, highly recommended if you're a fan of the old school Hellblazer stuff. There's some good Swamp Thing material in here, and so I'm getting Hellblazer and Swamp Thing in similar stuff, or in the same book, at least at certain points. Awesome. Can't pass that up. Probably, man, I don't know. Like, because I've been asked a couple of times, like, what's my favorite book of the month? And it's close to being Hellblazer at this point. because I'm having such a good time with that Vertigo vibe of it, from the '90s, like the when he was created. No, was he the '90s or the '80s? Was Swamp Thing the '80s and then Hellblazer the '90s? Either way, when I got into Hellblazer, I went back and got all those old trades and stuff, and it kind of feels like reading those, and I've enjoyed it so much, and it's been a trip to read, and kind of just have like a real, accurate, good Constantine story that we haven't. It feels like we haven't had in a long time. So Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 number 5. I really like this story. No spoilers because no characters and stuff. There's some couple of surprises in here. I've tried to hold back on because it's been such a fun book. Yeah, so trying to hold back. Peter David is great. He usually is. There's very few times where I've been like, Peter David messed that up. No, he gets the Miguel O'Hara character. He understands it. It's awesome. Pick it up. Highly recommended. Incredible Hulk Blood Hunt. They did this instead. It's a one shot. That's why it's got a number 1. So it's kind of out of the regular Johnson Incredible Hulk run. But they didn't do a regular book this month. They only did this one. So the next issue will be next month if that's what you were expecting. Good series, though. Interested to see how you use Hulk in a vampire blood hunt story. Oh, there is another one. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. There was something that, they did Blood Hunt, and therefore there wasn't an issue of it. What was it? I thought it was Hulk. Huh. Well, shit. Lies. Whoa. That's my dryer. Apologies. Wouldn't be one of my videos without my dryer or my camera going flying. Incredible Hulk number 14. Again, fun series, get it? If you're a fan of Al Ewing's run, don't go into it with that high of an expectation, but it's around there, tonally it fits really well. If that's the vibe you want, that more horror, personal, emotional Hulk, great, go for it. Probably Al Ewing's run is probably the best run, I would argue, since Peter David. I like it more than Greg Pak's stuff. Yeah. And this does a good serviceable job of following up Al Ewing. So I went ahead and decided to get it up, or pick it up. So yay. But yeah, no, Daredevil, man. Daredevil's finally done for me, at least in the moment, We'll see what happens down the line. There's going to be some Wolverine coming down the line, since I'll at least be getting that book. Expect some more Blood Hunt Blade stuff, because as those trades come out in the next few months, I'll be getting those for sure. And yeah, that's going to be it. So, funny story. I'm going to end this here. Talking about Blade. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine. So I'm doing this. I remembered to do this at the end of the video. I'm proud of myself. If you don't want to hear, I'm going to keep going. But if you don't want to hear spoilers, you can go ahead and stop watching now. And if you do, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I always appreciate anybody who does. But I'm going to not soapbox, but just kind of go over some Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. So if you don't want those spoilers, stop now. Goodbye. Okay, so here we go. Deadpool and Wolverine. So I love the movie. I think it's a great movie. There's some weird things about it that I was a little perturbed by. I'm not going to lie. But still, I really liked it. One of the better movies, one of the better Marvel outings in a while. And obviously we know it's because of, the control and the micromanaging of Ryan Reynolds that he has with Deadpool, kind of. Sorry. Take another drink there. Yeah. So, really love the movie. I think Logan is the perfect send-off for Logan. This is the perfect send-off for Wolverine. Does that make sense? Logan was the perfect Logan movie. This was like the perfect Wolverine. Just the crazy, no nonsense, don't give a shit, prime Wolverine. It was awesome. As far as the cameos go and stuff, I guess we'll go through them again. Spoilers. I'll start with the villains. I think the villain cameos were decent. Um, the Tyler Mane Sabretooth was weird. I get it. I wanted Liev Schreiber Sabretooth. I think that would have been cool. Alas. It took me a while to realize that it was not Toad. It was not Ray Park playing Toad. It was not Ray Park. And a lot of the other ones weren't. It was not Vinnie Jones. That's for damn sure. That was the easiest one to spot. That was not the Vinnie Jones Juggernaut. It wasn't the original Callisto actress. It wasn't the original Azazel actor. I don't think Jason Fleming or whatever his name is. Yeah, so they just kind of like really made them look like them. Good on them, I guess. I don't know. That's what I heard. It took me a while to realize that. But anyway, so stuff like that was cool. Also, apparently there was that one guy that's in the poster in the back with the jacket and the vest. Remember everybody thought it was Blade? Everybody thought it was the Sticky Fingers version of Blade from the Spike TV series. No, it turns out apparently that's like a different variant of Bullseye. What? Like nobody just wanted to mention that? I'm like shit. That's how I felt about some of that stuff. Anyway, on to the other side of the cameos. I think once you saw Chris Evans, it was pretty obvious he was not going to be Captain America, and it was going to be Johnny Storm. So I kind of saw that coming, but it was still funny to see. And just kind of the way like they play it up in Deadpool is funny. So that was cool. What happened to him was like expected. I guess out of like all the people you brought back, he's the one you could get away with just murdering the way they do. So I guess that's okay. Feels a little weird, but okay. And then you get the other three big ones. Four technically because Daphne Keene is in this as X-23 again. Laura from Logan. I don't know if it's the same one. Is it? Either way. Yeah. So I find it kind of funny that like the ones they brought back were just interesting. So I remember Elektra being rumored for quite a while. So I wasn't too shocked there. It felt like that was almost guaranteed at some point. The other two really got me because I think they had been rumored, but then again, like everybody had been rumored at some point. But I'm going to start with the kind of crazier one, maybe. Well, maybe not. Channing Tatum's Gambit is amazing. If you don't know the story, years ago, like in the late 2000s, like 2008, 2009, Channing Tatum had been trying to get into the X-Men movies as Gambit. Like they had kind of this deal to do it. And if I remember correctly, he was originally going to be in X-Men Origins. He wanted to do Gambit. They wanted him for Gambit. It ended up being Taylor Kitsch, I think. Is that his name? Yeah, I think. Only because Channing Tatum had contractual agreements to do that random-ass G.I. Joe movie. Or one of them or something. That sequel or something. So it never really happened. But then, as time goes on, when they start making kind of these movies that aren't exactly connected anymore, like he starts pushing for a Gambit, kind of like Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool. It felt like Channing Tatum was trying to do with Gambit. And he got close a bunch of times. They had different directors in there. And he was always involved, and eventually it just didn't happen. And so he shows up as Gambit in this, finally, after all these years. And he's dressed like comic book Gambit. It's pretty hilarious. And it fits him, I think. But they poke fun at the idea that, like, you know, he doesn't know where he's from because that movie never got made. And he was never Gambit. And then, you know, feeling like he doesn't belong, or where he talks about, you know, they call me the Gambit, and Deadpool tells him, or are you sure, or you just really always wanted people to? That's a great line. So that was just entertaining to see. And I liked his Gambit. I thought it worked in the context of what it needed to be. And kudos. And he's athletic enough to pull off like the stunts and stuff. So it looked great. It looked cool seeing live action Gambit. with the staff and the cards and the purple. It was great. I wish he had the eyes, but oh well. It didn't bother me too much. Um, Now here's the one. I had mentioned to friends of mine. I mentioned to my own brother. I think my own brother. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I definitely mentioned it to some of my friends that I knew it wouldn't happen, but if Wesley Snipes' Blade showed up, it'd be the greatest thing ever. But I know it won't happen. And then it did. That's the thing. And then it did. Um, One of my friends said that when he went to the movies and when Blade walked in, he just like thought of me instantly and was like, damn, like he willed it into existence. And I think I did. I'd been telling everybody that I wanted that. And I think I willed it into existence, man. I'm going to give myself credit for that. But anyway, that was awesome. That made the movie, that put the movie over the top for me for sure. He was great. I mean, like, you know, he's not in the same shape he used to be, but like, you know, he still had the voice down. He still had the mannerisms. Like, it was still pretty cool to see. The only thing I didn't like was I know he wasn't wearing the jacket. Okay, fair enough. His duster, whatever, his trench coat. But I hated that he just had that little knife. Why not give him the katana? Like it, you know, shit, he was using it at least movie wise way before Deadpool, you know? So that was weird. I didn't like that. I wish he had a katana. I wish you could have had like a little sparring session between Deadpool and Blade. Or Wolverine and Deadpool. I mean, shit, it always works in the comics. So yeah, that was awesome. The ending was a little interesting. It was funny seeing all the Deadpool variants. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I don't think we're done with Wolverine and Wade. Maybe Logan. I don't know. The Cavalrine was in there. Remember a long time ago there was a rumor that the new Wolverine was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it was going to be a throwaway joke. You remember that? That's interesting, huh? Think about now. Either way, loved it. Highly recommend it. Hope we see him again, and I just hope it's done right again. You know what I mean? You did it right, and you did it perfectly the first go. Don't try to mess it up on the second go or whatever's next, you know? So that's it. That's it. Finally done with this video. Didn't think it was going to be this long, but there's a lot I wanted to talk about with that movie. So, yeah. That's it for the video. If you like the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I appreciate anybody who does. And I will catch you guys in the next video.